So Rajat is going to read from the beginning part of the book, where we're setting it up. The whole story started in 2013. National War Museum in London declared the twin battles of Kohima and Imphal, as the greatest battle that the British had ever fought. They rated it above Dunkirk and Waterloo. And so when this news came out, in Calcutta, 23rd January, Netaji's birthday, in a small little tea shop, some men have gathered, and this is what transpires.
Dulalda greets his latest client with obvious fondness. Good morning, Sudipta Babu. So how are things with our favorite young journalist? Sudipta rubs his hands, freezing Dulalda. Haru, my boy, one chai. Nice and hot, chop chop. He gestures towards Balaida's open paper. So what's the latest on that chit fund scam? Balaida shakes his head in disgust. That Madan fellow got red-handed. Shameful. Bambulda scratches his stubbly grey beard. Mark my words, what India needs is a military dictatorship, like Pakistan. A strong hand at the helm. No, Dada. Strong hand won't work anymore. What we need is a strong foot to give one tight, big kick up everyone's ass. There is muted laughter, a shake of heads, a scratching of bellies around the table. The sound of drumbeats and shouted slogans from the main road breaks the moment of reflection. Ganesh Babu looks up with exasperation. Now what? Abar ki? Dulalda gets up and pokes his head round the corner to look down the street. Of course, today is 23rd January, Netaji's birthday. Ganesh Babu throws his hands up in exasperation. Oh, Re Baba, those bloody clowns will be out on the streets, left, right, marching around in those khaki shorts, causing traffic jams. The old man slumped in the corner, a shadow shape slowly stirs. Oops, I better hurry up then, mutters Bambulda, starting to gather his things. I have to go all the way to the Dalhousie area. The bank is really giving me a royal runaround over my pension checks. Sudipta too starts to take out change to pay Haru. But Ganesh Babu, if Netaji had been there today, this would have been a different country. He had such visions, such plans. Ganesh Babu looks at him curiously. Really? And how would a youngster like you know about Netaji? That's all ancient history. I'm a journal. I make it my business to know. And anyway, he's still relevant today. It's not just me. Every Bengali, every Indian should know what Netaji could have done. Balaida, who has been engrossed in his papers, suddenly slaps one page. What a coincidence. Here we were just discussing Netaji, and see, there's a big article on him. Something about Imphal and Kohima. The old man sits up. The Irani glass rattles against his plate. Ganesh Babu is skeptical. Written by some party bigwig's chamcha. The Communist Party used to hate him when he was alive. But now they blow conch shells and clean up the crow shit on his statue once a year and make a big hoo-ha. Barayada shakes his head. No, actually it's written by a Thomas Jones, a Britisher, I think. It's about some battle. Here, you read it. He hands the paper to Sudipta. Secret files made finally public by Thomas Jones. About a battle between the British and the Japanese and Azad Hind Fauj, Netaji's army. Happened in 1944. For 2 weeks, the future of the British Empire hung in the balance, etc., etc. Wow, look at this. Recently, UK's National Army Museum conducted a poll on Britain's greatest battle fought over the last 400 years. Waterloo, Aliwal, D-Day, Normandy, Rocks Drift, and Imphal, Kohima were selected. But to everyone's surprise, the twin battles against Japan, Azad Hind Fauj, fought in Kohima and Imphal in India, were voted the greatest ever. Sudipta looks up, his eyes shining. Then he goes back to reading. Most Indians are not aware that one of the bloodiest and most crucial battles of World War II was fought on their soil, which, if Japan had succeeded in winning, would have changed the fate of the Allied forces and maybe the course of Indian history. Ganesh Babu is still skeptical. Just a gimmick to sell newspapers. Sudipta is indignant. How can he be so offhand about this, Ganesh Babu? Look here, it says. Suddenly his hand is jolted. The old man, who has crept up silently, snatches the paper out of his hands. Hey, what the... But he falls silent. A demented spark lurks just under the surface of the old man's milky eyes. He clutches the crumpled paper to his chest. His other hand, shaking, palsied, is raised to fend them off, part in imperious command, part in trembling entreaty. Slowly he backs away, shaking his head, then turns toward the murky light coming in from the street and holds up the paper. He reads silently, his lips moving imperceptibly, whisper of sound and breath. Balaida makes a silent but universally rude gesture, tapping his index finger against his temple. Bonkers, lost his marbles, it says. Haru stifles a giggle. The fog is thickened again, and inside the tea shop, there is a hush. Then the old man sighs, looks up. The dreamy eyes peer at them over the thick wire-framed spectacles. The ghost of a smile appears on his seamed face. When he speaks, his voice is hoarse, strained, almost as if he hasn't used it for a really long time. Finally.
Firstly, good evening everyone, and congratulations to Namita and Sanjay. I was asked outside, why did you agree to read the book today, or why did you agree to be here today? And I've done many ads with Namita and Shubir at White Light, and I was petrified of them as a model. So the moment I got a call from Namita, it firstly took me a day to return the call. Now you know why. Not again. I thought, I didn't know what she was going to say, and then she said, I've written a book, and will you launch it? Before she could complete her sentence, I said yes. But this book is of course called The Wrong Turn.
You're in very good company. 50% of the people you can't say no to.
No, but I must tell you that the book is called The Wrong Turn. But ironically, my life as an actor took the right turn working with Namita and Shubir. I remember, I thought acting was about a pretty face, and okay, I did think I had a pretty face back then. But I thought that's what it was about, and I was doing a lot of ads, and then we went to Rajkot for an ad film. It was about a bike. I don't want to name it for obvious reasons, but we were doing the ad, and both the male model and me just couldn't get the moment right. It was about this man, who's just come back from the army and who gets a call. There's a message on the radio calling all army personnel back to the front. And we just couldn't get it right. And I remember getting fired by Namita and Shubir. And I remember then, somehow I got the shots right, and then there was a shot, there was a hand shot, and normally they have hand models to do it. So, I hadn't really manicured my fingers or anything. I hold the transistor and she fires me. She says, your nails are chipped. And you're firstly this woman in the village, you're not going to have such long nails, and then, to make matters worse, one nail is shorter than the rest of them. And I was mortified, I went back into the room, I had tears in my eyes, and I said, what the hell, why is she? But when I came out, she actually had this chat with me, which just made me look at everything very differently. It was actually that ad film, and I've never had a chance to thank you personally for that, but thank you so much. Because, during that shoot, she said it's so important for an actor to just soak in experiences of all kinds, whether you like it or not. Keep observing people, read the newspapers, read books, watch plays, movies, listen to music you like and don't like. Just keep yourself open to experiences. That's when you'll be able to feel a moment that you haven't experienced personally. And I think that changed a lot for me, and which is why I'm here today, to say thank you more than anything else, and all the best to both of you. Sanjay, you're a bonus, I know your better half. Very well. And I was thrilled to know that you've co-authored the book, and all the best to both of you. That's a long speech. Should I even read now?
Yes, you're supposed to say yes.
So